How to start a business in high school? We're going to answer that question in this video. Okay, let's rock. Let's talk about starting a business in high school. If you're watching this video, you're literally looking at the perfect person that has started a business in high school. And I still have that business 27 years later. So listen up, I'm here to teach you. I'm just here to show you how I did it and how you can maintain it and keep it. All right, so if you're starting a business, understand there's, well, what some people think is a business, and there's a fully legit business, okay? A fully legit business is a business that's gonna have a tax ID number, a business entity number, an operating agreement, a bank account that's set up in the company's name, and many other things like that. If you have employees, it's got payroll set up with withholding numbers. You might have sales tax certificate numbers. You have unemployment. You have workers' comp insurance. You got liability insurance, and the list goes on. A fully legit business has all of that, okay? So you can rewind the video so you can hear everything and write it all down, because if you're wanting to set up fully legit, you're gonna have to do that. Now, if you're in high school, it gets a little tricky if you're not 18 years old, because at least in the state of Kansas where I'm from, you have to actually be 18 years old to register your business, okay? Now you might say, well, dang it, I'm only 15 or 16 or 17. Well, if that's the case, you're gonna need to talk to your parents or your legal guardians. And you're gonna have to decide whether now's the time you wanna start the business. And if you do, they're gonna have to be willing to put everything in their name, because you can't legally operate and have a legal business in most states in the United States unless you're at least 18 years old. Now, if you're watching this and you're international, maybe rules are different internationally, but let's assume that you have to be 18 years old. What you're going to need to do is have them set it up. Now, they're gonna set up all that paperwork and all those tax ID numbers and the federal, employment identification number and everything like that. The thing is, if you're gonna wanna own that business, if you're just having them do that temporary, when you turn 18, you're gonna wanna switch everything over to your name. Well, sometimes when I said it's tricky, it's not as simple as like flipping a light switch on and off. It's not that simple just to switch everything over. And in some cases, it might be better just to start over and just say, oh, we're just gonna close and dissolve that entity that we named it. Let's call it ABC LLC, where ABC is the name of the company, and then LLC is the entity type, limited liability company. So you could call it like, John's Restaurant LLC, whatever, where John's Restaurant is the name of the business, but the LLC is the name of the entity. Okay, so you might want to just get rid of that and start it over in your name. And what you can do in the meantime is you can build up your customer base, okay? You can build up your customers in the meantime, and you can always transfer them, right? Like businesses' names change all the time. So it's not a big deal. Let's say you're mowing lawns and you're starting a lawn care business, and you're also doing snow removal in the winters. Well, those same customers, if you're taking good care of them, don't really care who they're making the check payable to when they pay you, right? They just want to know that their stuff's getting done when they need it. So, like I said, if you're under 18, you're going to have to rely and depend on somebody else in most cases, and you're going to have to set up the paperwork. If not, if you're over 18, you set it up yourself. So again, go back to earlier in the video, and that's a lot of the basic steps. And I'm going to cover a lot more in future videos in more detail of what you need to do. But the basics about starting a business is simple. You got to have something that you absolutely love to do, that you're passionate about. You've probably already found that, okay? Then sit down, and if I were you, I would just take a piece of paper or get on your computer and start typing and write down your business plan. If you don't know what a business plan is, you can Google it. It's very simple. The bottom line, it's an outline of what your business is going to look like, what it's going to do, projections, numbers, sales figures, how many customers you're going to need to get at how much per lawn in order to make this much, where you're happy, goals, all kinds of stuff. There's so much information. If you're going to rent out, let's say you're going to rent out like a storage unit, where's it going to be? How much square footage is the storage unit? How much is the monthly rent for the storage unit? Is there insurance? Maybe you have to insure your lawnmowers and your snow removal equipment, whatever. Think of all those things and put that down on paper. And so once you get that going, then you got to say, okay, what are the basic things? What makes a business a business? Like, I see all these businesses. I drive down the street and I see all these businesses, but how are they a business? How did they get there? Well, they're just people, just like you and I, And what they decided to do was they picked what they wanted to do and they went after it, and then they put everything on paper. So again, let's kind of review the basics. So you're in high school and you want to know the basic steps about how to start a business. I got you. I'm here for you. All right. Step one, go to the Secretary of State's website and name your company, okay? Then you're going to need to find an accountant. And if you're young, maybe you've never used one. So have your parents help you out with that. They're also referred to as a CPA, like a certified public accountant. Find a CPA and say, hey, I need to know how to classify for tax reporting purposes. How do I register this entity? They can walk you through it. Just, have them walk you through it on the phone. It's most online processes to setting up an entity, a business entity, take 10, 15, 20 minutes, half an hour tops. I mean, that's if you're going really slow. If I set one up, I could do one in like a few minutes, but that's only because I've done it before. So it's not that tough, trust me. Get a CPA, have them help you out. So you're gonna name your business, you're gonna register it. Now you're gonna be able to print out on your final screen, it's gonna say, here it is. You've created your business. Your business entity is out there. It's registered with the state. You had to pay a fee because that's part of the way it works. You pay a fee, and usually like with an LLC, which is a limited liability company, you have to renew that every single year. Depends on the state. The state dictates basically what the renewal fee is. Some are more, some are less. So next, you go and you register an employment identification number. And that's going to be basically the social security number for your business, separate than your own personal social security number. When you're in business, you want to use the businesses because everything is tied to the business. Only use yours if you're, say, applying for credit and they require you to provide a personal guarantor's social or something like that. Then you have no choice. You could tell them no, they probably won't approve your application. That's when you would maybe use your own personal one. But when you're applying and you're doing business and business deals, you just use your EIN number, your employment identification number. And some refer it to as the federal employment identification number, right? FEIN. So EIN or FEIN. Now, once you have that set up, you can actually set that up online through the IRS's website. And again, it's not super difficult, but if you haven't done it before, you could always call a CPA, possibly your attorney, a lawyer, somebody like that can help you do it. I'm sure there's probably YouTube videos that specifically show you how to do that. I mean, YouTube's got everything on it, so there's a lot of different ways to do it. So now you've got your business entity number, you've got your employment identification number. The next step, hopefully you got some money saved up. If you're gonna start a business, you're gonna need money to operate. So don't start a business unless you have money. And we can talk about bankroll requirements in future videos and things like that. But now you take that information and you go to your local bank and you say, hi, I'd like to open up a business checking account. And they're gonna say, okay, we're gonna need to see a few things from you. So I'm gonna assume in this example that you set up an LLC. They're gonna say, okay, we need your articles of organization, which is also your articles of incorporation. Some refer to it as that if you do like a corporation, but your articles of organization. That's gonna be generally like a 1 or 2 page printout when you registered your business entity. It'll probably have your state seal on it. It'll have like a business ID number, business entity ID number, something similar to that. And it'll probably have your name. It should have your name and the business name and the address and all that. That's what they're asking for there. Then they're gonna want a copy of, I believe it's called the SS-4 form. SS-4 form, okay? That's from the IRS. That will have your EIN number. And that also is going to have your business name, probably your name and your address. And all of this information is what you set up. That's the information you entered when you were setting those up on the Secretary of State's website and the IRS's website. So you're going to set those up. You're going to give the bank that information and they might ask you for an operating agreement. You're going to say, what the heck is an operating agreement? Okay, it's simple. It's the playbook for the business. So if you're the only owner, if you're a single member LLC and you're the only one that is the owner, the manager, the president, whatever, you have to create an operating agreement. And the best way to do it is to hire a lawyer, to hire an attorney. And usually you can get them done fairly quickly because most attorneys that do them have a nice template that they use for most of them. And they just go in there and they just change a few things and just shop around, just ask an attorney, hey, what would you charge me to set up like an operating agreement? In a lot of cases, you can do it for a few $100. It might only take an hour of their time. Sometimes if you get pretty extravagant, you make a lot of changes or additions to whatever they're doing, they're gonna charge you by the hour, so be careful. You could spend thousands of dollars. It depends on what you want. But that's gonna outlie for the banks, for anybody, who has the control over that business? It's a legal document that literally dictates who can do what with the business. So the bank wants to see the operating agreement because they want to see what things you have the power to do. So when you've got your business entity certificate, which your business entity certificate is your articles of organization, right? That's all it is. Your articles of incorporation, so to speak. All the same thing. You've got your SS4 form, which is from the IRS, and that's got your EIN number on it. And then you got your operating agreement. That's most likely what you'll need, and then you're going to be able to open up a business checking account. Now, you can probably at that same time ask the bank if you can apply for a business credit card. You may as well start. That way you can start charging stuff and earning cash back. And my recommendation is anytime you get that bill at the end of the month, pay it in full so you don't pay any interest. And that way, if you're getting cash back, you're actually making money off your credit card. It's insane if you can actually do that. So do your best to do that if you can. And then you have to start setting up all the rest of the pieces of your business. So start setting up your processes and your systems. Processes, simple. If I'm going to simplify it, you simply put down everything you're doing in your business on paper. How to do stuff. So if you're going to hire somebody new, you can train them with documents. You don't have to verbally tell them everything. It's okay to verbally teach people stuff, but you want to have documents to back up how you want stuff done. So set up all your processes and your systems. Get your insurance set up, right? You want to get all your liability insurance, your workers' comp insurance. You want to set up your payroll if you're going to have employees. Get all your tax accounts set up, your sales tax accounts set up, and so on, okay? So once you get all this stuff up, and you get all your proper permits and your licenses for your particular business, you get that by calling the city or calling your local town, telling them what type of business you're going to get into, and they're going to say, oh, you're going to need one of these, or you're going to have to get one of these. Let's say you're getting into the restaurant business. Oh, you're going to need a food license. You're going to need a food permit. You're going to need a drink permit. You're going to need a this, right? The Department of Health and Environment's got to come in and check on your place once a month or once a quarter or whatever. So ask them, they're going to tell you everything. And once you've done all that, you basically have all the necessary stuff to basically open up for business. You're fully legit, you're fully legal. And I'm sure I've left a couple things out. I'm just reciting all this stuff from memory. And as these videos progress, we're gonna go into detail with each one of them so you guys can have a better understanding of each one and how to set each one up. And then, magically, the rest is up to you. So now you take your passion and you make it happen, baby. That's what you do. You have to just do what you know, push hard, just every single day, try to build new customers, take care of them. Your business will slowly continue to build if you're providing good service to whoever you're doing. You've got good products. If you're buying and selling things, you got great products. You're taking care of your customers. Your business is going to grow. That's what happens. Organically, it's just going to get better, bigger. You're going to make more money, and that's how you make it in life. So me, from my card shop 27 years ago, back in 1993, now to 2020, we're still going. We're still doing business. I'm still having a blast, and I hope you can do the same. So remember, when you're going to get into business, find your passion and make it happen. And remember, when things get tough, never give up. Push hard, keep pushing, and be the hustler.